All right. Now, who should be more concerned about body safety?
Okay, so my target is children first, parents, then educators. The parents, while the children, I believe my teachings empower the children. When a child is informed about something, the child knows what to do. The child is knowledgeable. The child knows, okay, this actually happens. So the child already has it in her head or his head that this actually happens to children. This is what I do. This is what I should do if I find myself in near harmful situations. This is what I should do if this person tries to do this or do that. Then for the parents, I teach them so that they can teach their children at home, so that they can repeat the teachings as well constantly. Because these teachings, it shouldn't be a one-time thing. It should be a continuous thing because children are involved, they could forget. So the job of the parent now is to continue the teachings at home so that these children will not forget the teachings. Then for the educators, teachers, they can also continue where I stopped by repeating these teachings. So this is why it is important. But body safety is actually for children. But I engage the parents and the teachers as well so that they can continue from where I stopped. They will continue reminding their children so that the children don't forget. So that is where the parents and the educators come in. But body safety is actually for children.
Okay. All right. For children, is it all children? From your study, from your understanding of these particular abuse cases, either in Kaduna State or in other parts of Nigeria, is it only about the girl child, or the abuse is both for, it's also for male children? Can you share anything with us in that line?
Okay. Any child could be abused, whether male or female. Although more female children are abused, but both sex are abused. So body safety education is for both males and females because even males can be abused. Even males are being abused. So body safety is actually for males and females. So when I go to the schools, I teach both the males and the females.
Thinking back to the question I asked you before about how the process work from when a child report a case to maybe eventually concluding it. I don't remember if you talked about what happened to the perpetrators. Do you often hear them be sentenced? I don't know if you say anything about that. If you have said anything about that, then we can just proceed. If not, if you could share anything in that line, whether you have heard of some sentences, what is the sentences usually? Is it like maybe 2 years in prison, or maybe they are eventually released? Or can you share anything in line with that?
Okay, they are actually sentenced from 7 to 14 years. They are actually sentenced, and their names will be included in the sex offenders list. So most state governors are coming up with sex offenders list so that parents, neighborhoods can go and check. That is, if they see somebody strange in their community, they can go and check the sex offenders list and check if that, they'll check if they see that face there. So whenever a perpetrator is found guilty, his name and his picture is included in the sex offenders list. He is indicted, is sentenced, most times from 7 to 14 years, depending on the case or his the form of sexual abuse. So I have seen a few, although in Nigeria, there are quite a few. They are not most people that most perpetrators actually go scot-free in Nigeria because most parents do not want to, because of shame, and they feel that will bring shame to their families. They do not report these cases to sexual assault referral centers or the police station. So most of the cases don't come to light because of shame and secrecy. So most of these perpetrators go scot-free. But these days, it's coming to light. More and more people are becoming aware. So when um, most times the perpetrator is sentenced, he's sentenced and his name is included in the sexual offenders list.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Noye. Now, tell me about your training about safety, body safety. How do you really embark on this training? How do you talk it with the children so that they understand what to do? I mean, tell me about it.
Okay, first, when I go to the class, of course, I would have finished talking with the administrator and would have set a date to come for the teachings. When I go to the class, I make it interactive. I want them to tell me their problems. I want them to share concerns. That is my one of my missions. So when I go there, I'm very, very free with them. I explain, they ask all manner of questions, and I answer as much as I can, as much as time will permit me. I teach them, I tell them they are special. That's the first thing. I tell them they are special. I tell them they are beautiful. I tell them they need to know all the names of their private parts. I actually put it as a question to them. And unfortunately, I say unfortunately, most of them don't get the answers because they were not taught at home. They were not taught at home to use the names, the correct names of their private parts. So when I ask, they cannot even mention all the private parts. Some just mention breast or buttocks, but some don't even mention anything because they are ashamed. So they do not mention this. So I have to teach them and I make them repeat it. I make them understand there is nothing wrong with using these body parts in conversations. I make them understand penis, vulva, clitoris, vagina, buttocks, anus are not bad words and they can be used in conversation. I make them understand that before I leave the class, I ensure that they are free to use these words. I encourage their teachers to use it in conversations if there is need for it in school. I also tell them not to make these children ashamed of this word because there is nothing wrong with using this word. They're actually the right name of body parts. I inspire confidence. I tell children the little things they can do, like if somebody grabs their arm, they can hit that person and run to safety. We actually act these things out, we play it out. I tell them actions we should take. We all shout together, we shout, no. I tell them, why do they need to shout? And they answer, because to call attention of others so that other people can help them. So I teach them it's okay to run from harm, how they should run, and actions to take, telling their parents. And I also tell them if their parents don't believe them, let's say something like that happens and their parents do not believe them, they should keep on telling their parents. And if their parents still do not believe them, then they should call the sexual assault referral center so that the sexual assault referral center can take up the case since their parents do not believe them. That I also teach them safety measures, like if they walk home from school alone, how they shouldn't talk to strangers, how they shouldn't walk in lonely roads, how they should walk in groups. I teach them all of that. I teach them a little, should I say, defense mechanisms in case they find themselves in very tight spots. I teach them they are powerful. I teach them they have a voice and they should use it. So that is what I teach these children in schools, and has been it has been interesting. It has been interesting. I have reached to 277 children for now, and I will continue in May when they resume. So I would be doing a larger number, since my aim is to reach 3,000 primary school children.
That's interesting. Thank you so much for that. Talking in general sense, I think there could be a rule for body safety